Okay guys, welcome back to the channel. So today we have a test that allows us to talk a little bit about an emerging market in the custom fitting space into this kind of lighter, stable shaft category, Mikey. Let's say Autoflex pushed us all in this direction. I think people had been thinking about it for a while, but it popularized it, I would think.
Yeah, and it got a lot of people thinking, like, can you make an Autoflex type performance from something else?
Yes. Mitsubishi are probably the leaders in the market from a vertically integrated company of making every material that goes into their shafts, from their carbon, their resin, everything that goes into it. They are top to bottom making all the ingredients and putting them into their own shafts. And have the lineage and history of doing that, you know, to the top level through the Diamana line, now the Tensei line. And really what we're talking about here is as a next gen Basara line.
Oh, okay, that's what this is.
Right, yeah, so the Basara line was the sort of ultra premium lightweight shaft that Mitsubishi had been offering out there for the longest time. We saw Grand Basara, the first sub 30 gram shaft. Even before that, we saw the Griffin, the Gargoyle. There was so many, the Wyvern, you know, all those.
They're super light.
Super light. And obviously for a specific player, someone who's looking to increase a bit of clubhead speed, maybe likes the longer length of the drivers. And Vanquish is going to continue that legacy onward. But do it in an ultra premium fashion, Matty. On the tip of the shaft, it's got precision crafted ±1. Basically, what that's telling us is the tolerances in this shaft are unmatched at that lightweight sort of category. So this is interesting. So we requested the 4X. Something that really we've never seen in the shaft catalogs before, Mikey.
No.
You would probably never even see a 5X. You'd probably see 5 stiff, and then the first X Flex you would get offered to be in the 60 gram range. So this is definitely something that's new. I think head weights or even club lengths are allowing us to try these shafts now. MOI is becoming higher, chasing down that 5900 MOI target, that benchmark that is the max out. No one really gets there, but they're very close now, Ping leading the way, allowing us to use more of these shafts.
Yeah, we've seen a lot, like in the last few years. You've tested 5X, Ventus, everyone, like there's a lot of manufacturers that have one, and this will be interesting. This came out in Japan first. Very, very soft and light, but again, we're looking at spec sheets, and there's some other shafts out there that, you know, it's a couple grams lighter than what this is in the 4X range. So excited to see how this performs. Yeah,
52 grams in sort of raw weight. 5.2 degrees of torque, Matty. So, you know, on the higher range of the torque, but I don't think with the quality of the materials we're dealing with here, those torque measurements mean what they used to mean.
It might just be more of a feel thing?
Yes, exactly. I think, you know, that kind of softer feel, a little bit more range in sort of torsional movement, but I'm expecting to see this be, to be honest, quite tight in terms of the flight that it produces. I really am. You know, the quality materials that Mitsubishi are touting in this video, a mix of 46 and 40 ton carbon fiber, which is, you know, to the people who pay attention to that sort of stuff, is some of the more premium materials. Really driving up the carbon content, lowering the resin content. That plays into the feel of the shaft. Using more of what you would want, which is thread, and less of what you don't want, which is resin. It's essential, but not what you want more of. So I'm curious to see what it does for you.
Right, yeah, because so what we've got is my driver built to 45 inches. Or we're going to use, we'll use my head to start with. My driver built to 45 inches. A shaft like that, really you're building it probably chasing distance. So you built that one to 46 inches. So really going lighter and longer, kind of Autoflex style. What kind of numbers can we see? Can we get clubhead speed up a few miles an hour? Stuff like that.
Is it worth it? I mean, that's always the question, right? So you have a gamer here, and you know we've just come back from California and had a great example of when we try new heads, they don't always work for you. You know, sometimes the profile of the head, the design of the head is very ball speed and low spin orientated. That doesn't really work for you, and we know your driver is built to be a gamer. So we'll try something that we know is great on the golf course, but something that potentially is a leap forward in performance, and whether it's worth the trade-off.
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, let's get a couple with your gamer, Matty. Maybe 5 or 6 real solid ones.
Sure.
And then we'll move into Vanquish.
Felt really good.
That's a lovely flight.
It's kind of as good as my driver does, pretty much.
Oh.
Can fly at about 3.
It's coming back lovely.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Just like a hair open, but I would love that on the course too.
That one is hit hard.
Yeah, it's pretty good too.
Strike.
That's nice.
That's lovely.
Swing.
That felt good. Yeah. Numbers there too.
Yeah, 171, good launch and spin. So we can see why this is your gamer.
Yeah, the numbers
it
are
just
very.
sits in lovely numbers, and the spin is a little bit on the higher side, but that buys you a little bit of freedom.
It does.
With your ball flight and your delivery. You don't have to always play the game of perfect delivery and things like that. So TSR2, we know how friendly that is. Those numbers are really, really good.
Yeah.
If you do straight towards the toe, Matt, you're not getting punished with that super low one.
Agreed, yeah.
Okay, so if we were just to build this Vanquish 4X for you, Matty boy, at 45 inches, it'd be too light, right? So I mean, we've got cut weight here, we're at 52 grams,
Yeah.
you say? So by the time we take 3.5 inches off it, 2.5 inches off it, we're going to be sitting there just under 50 grams.
Okay.
Quite significantly, right? It's 17, 18 grams lighter than what you're currently using right now.
Yeah.
And for that amount of loss in shaft weight, we'd have to give you something back. So we give you length rather than mass.
Gotcha.
So we are going to play this one just a little over 45 and a half.
Okay.
That should change a little bit about your delivery characteristics. Obviously, we'd expect a little bit more speed, potentially a little bit more leftward into out path.
Okay.
A little bit more upward angle of attack.
Right. All which would gear towards like a longer distance.
A longer distance, exactly. Yep. So as a consequence of pushing the path more into out, we encourage more face closure. More face closure increases ball speed, decreases spin. Right. So just manipulating those numbers around a little bit, we should see more distance out of that.
Gotcha.
Okay. Let's see what we get. Oh.
Turn.
That was a little different.
Hammered it. Not the straightest ball on earth, but hammered it.
Yeah, I think maybe once you get a little feel for kind of directionally what it's going to do,
Certainly added some juice.
it did. It really did.
Launch up, spin down.
4 more miles an hour. So
Wow.
we lost a little bit of efficiency from that toe strike, but there's a little bit of what we talked about.
Yeah.
Push the path more left, and that attack angle works up a little bit more.
That's a nice one.
Yeah.
It's a little spinnier. Might not be
Let's
the
see what
longest.
range that takes you into though, because it's still sailing over 3.
Yes, fair.
So probably, took the spin to what, 25?
That's what it felt like. Yep.
24, 34.
Good call. But way faster
176.
ball speed. Way faster
Quick.
club speed. That felt
That sounded
mashed.
really good.
It's flying. That might be it.
Coming back.
Hit that really well.
It's going to fly 315.
I gave it an effort. 78. It's pretty good.
Got some height on it. Go! Just one. Give me one swing where you just feel like you just kind of cruise one out there. Bit of a fairway finder swing.
Okay.
On call.
It's a bad strike.
Fairway
but
found.
It's a bad strike, but you'll see the club head speed be higher than what I'm normally at.
Like that looked so low in effort.
Yeah, and to get 121, 172, it's way
Yes.
faster.
Yeah.
Way faster, right? So that's kind of point. Maybe the strike. Let's give us one more because that was exactly what I wanted there.
Yep. Yeah, that's like pretty easy. Not trying to swing hard.
That's got to be 3 and a bit, 3 and change.
There's no doubt it makes the average drive 20 yards longer, basically.
Yeah, right there. So, yeah, well, we could manipulate, we could work with this and get you into probably a little bit more delivered loft, probably pop you up in loft. But that's not the point of this video.
No.
Really what we're looking at is, guys, is there value in, looking at one of these lighter, longer shafts? If you're a really consistent driver of the golf ball and you feel like you put yourself in the fairway 70 to 80% of the times, by all means, I would be chasing more club head speed.
Yeah, it doesn't necessarily feel more difficult for me to find the fairway with. It just feels like when I swing, I look up and there's 3 miles an hour club head speed extra and a few more miles an hour ball speed.
If we look at 20 yards of difference, 4 miles an hour difference, see if we saw, we did see that increase in angle of attack
like you said.
And path kicking out more left. That's where we probably would have loved to have seen a maintained dynamic loft number
Instead of going down.
rather than going down.
Yeah, fair enough.
But there's
Club head
just
speed's
4
up.
miles an hour.
Yeah.
Would you give me a quick crack at a 180?
Yes. Yeah, I think we can definitely see a 180 with a max out effort.
Get close. It's a good drive.
It's a really nice drive. Looked like about an 85% effort, that one, 179.3.
That didn't look that hard of an effort?
It didn't, no, it didn't. It didn't look like you were
smooth.
pushing,
It's amazing, like, perception and reality, because I felt
pushing.
a
If
little
I
bit-
don't see the hair kind of puff up on the downswing, I just expect you're not
just
hitting
not
it.
trying.
Yeah, not trying hard enough.
Come back.
really well. Give it to me.
Short of the green. Short, line short. Oh, I think it just caught the green.
That's another 79. Punishment.
Is it's the right shape?
It's the
Is it
last
fast
drive either
enough?
way. I give up if it's not it.
I think that's 77.8. Oh,
Yes! That's quick.
181.5.
Okay, I tag out.
So I think if we had asked you to push with your driver, I think we may have saw a 174 or 175.
I can tell you for sure that's what happens in practice. So
Is
if I'm practicing with mine, I push hard, 175. I'm super happy with it, but I can't get up. I haven't been up to 180 since, I don't know, calendar year ago.
Magic number,
Yep.
17.
I do like that. You're always right.
It's always
17.
17. Just
Always.
it's invariable. It's just if a player, and it actually is not that variable on the speed required. Like you don't need to be 126 miles an hour. Like
No.
100 miles an hour, 17 is normally the magic number
Is
for
that right?
delivered loft. It really is.
Yeah.
But yeah, that spin was a touch hard because of the low
I
strike.
mean, it
but
could have been a longer drive, but it's cool to see how much club head speed and ball speed you can get out of it, out of
Totally.
the shaft. A few shots in with this, I know I didn't mention it on camera, but you put the weight in the toe.
Yeah.
I think that helped. Just helped me kind of just go at it a bit
Yeah.
more and not worry about missing right.
Well, knowing that we can sort of match up the CG and the strike point,
Yep.
obviously always helps.
Like you said earlier, path does get more into
Yeah,
out.
kicks,
Yep. Kicks
But
out.
the title of the video, longer and lighter. Obviously, it's fast.
Yeah,
I mean,
longer
fast.
goes longer.
yeah.
Yeah.
Right? That's, for most people, longer goes longer. It's just a case of, is it worth the sacrifice? In this case,
Not much sacrifice.
If you're consistent
Yeah.
off the tee,
Yeah.
I mean, I do with my driver. I'm not as consistent as what Matt would be with a driver, but
Yeah.
I've picked up distance going longer and a little bit lighter.
I could see practicing with this and getting comfortable. Because when you told me to cruise a couple, those were very accurate and they were 4 miles an hour faster than my own driver.
you raise the floor, don't
Yeah.
you?
You raise the floor.
You bring the slower ones or the kind of the less output, less effort
Yeah.
drives. You bring those quite significantly up when you go through that. And I think, guys, is if you are in a winter season training or off peak training, whatever it might be, do lots of what Matt just went through there and just hit 20 or 25 drives a session where you're just going full out.
Full tilt.
What you'll find after a couple of months of doing it is you'll be shocked how fast that your clubhead speed gets. The best training tool, speed training tool, is your driver.
Yeah.
Hammering
It's
it
just
as hard
your
as you
driver.
can.
Yeah,
I agree.
I mean, for all the people who wish that they could afford stack or super speed golf, you own a driver. That's
your own driver.
enough of
Yeah.
a speed training tool.
I totally agree.
Whale at it.
Especially with a light shaft in there like this, I feel like
Yeah.
I might sneak this, for some training sessions in my
Totally.
own.
Yeah,
Totally.
it's in there for sure.
Yeah, love it.
Okay, guys. We've dabbled a little bit in lighter, longer, that conversation before, and I think we consistently see the same thing. This is just a really cool new offering from Mitsubishi and the Vanquish line. When you typically get into shafts that weigh significantly less, we're using less material, so what goes in matters a little bit more, right? So the ingredients that go into the shaft matter a little bit more when we're not using an awful lot of it. Some of the times when you get into 60 and 70 gram shafts, you can kind of, fluff the materials a little bit and add a little bit more resin, so that carbon to resin content, doesn't really matter as much. When you're dealing with a sub 50 gram shaft and someone's swinging at 126 miles an hour, that doesn't happen unless that product is high.
I mean, this is
well
legit.
made.
It held up to it. As I
Yeah.
said, never at any point did I feel like, this is too soft for me. Not once.
No.
It was all like it felt like a heavier shaft in terms of the stiffness, I guess, in terms of the stability, but just the lightness factor just lets you swing fast. That's all there is to it.
Very cool. Okay, another addition probably to the wall. We've talked about BGT, the stability
Brava,
driver shaft,
yeah.
the Brava, and I think this is one that people want to try as well.
Totally.
The new Vanquish line.
Totally.
Good stuff. Okay, stay tuned for more, guys. We'll see you again soon.